Hello, my friend, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Daily. My name is Aaron Machbitz. Let's discuss the July 27th edition of Monday Night Raw, which is the go-home episode of Monday Night Raw before the second biggest event of the WWE calendar, one being WrestleMania, which is also a two-night event, and now SummerSlam, which is a two-night event, which has now become a bigger event than Royal Rumble and Survivor Series. And the build-up to SummerSlam, let's be honest, has been bad. Now, I feel kind of crappy coming on this show after a SmackDown, a Raw, a PLE, and just basically talking shit about the company that I've loved since I was 12 years old. But we have to be honest about what's happening. This may be the worst we've seen WWE since 2019 Vince McMahon era. Now, the rosters in 2026 are incredible. Maybe the most talented rosters we've ever seen put together. I mean, Tommaso Ciampa said that recently about AEW. Yes, specifically, we're talking about WWE. The rosters are still stacked with the best athletes that we've ever produced in WWE. But there's always missing something. Athletes could make great wrestlers, but characters and stories make great sports entertainers, and that's what we're missing right here. Triple H, it sucks to say, but has done a horrific job creating storytelling and television that is compelling and must watch. Nothing that's happening in WWE is must watch. And that's the same of how I felt about the July 27th go home edition of Monday Night Raw. I mean, it's just like commercials after commercials after commercials after commercials, which really, really, really hinders the show. I mean, we are in some dark times with WWE. This was by far, I want to say, the worst Raw show all year. I mean, followed by one of the worst SmackDowns of all year, maybe ever. And then this was the go-home show. Like, they should be embarrassed about what they put on television. Because at this point, they're kind of just slapping us in the face and saying, you'll watch anything. You're a WWE lifer. And it's like, holy cow, from Joe Hendry being embarrassed to Danhausen slop dancing and singing with midgets to fucking human monies on a pole match at SummerSlam, and Dominic Mysterio being straight up buried, not having a creative direction for Braun Breaker, not even being on a two-night event, being one of the biggest stars in the company just 4 or 5 months ago before he got injured. This company, WWE, has seriously lost its plot. And I'm not being a hater. I fucking love WWE. I'm going to watch SummerSlam. I'm going to keep watching Raw. I'm going to keep watching SmackDown. And I'm going to keep talking about it. And hopefully, eventually, I can talk about what's good and what's getting better. I mean, a bright spot certainly from this episode of Monday Night Raw was Javon Evans. He has gotten so much better inside of that ring. It's incredible to watch in real time. He's more aggressive. He's more fluid. His strikes are sharper. I said that on this show. He need to have better strikes, more crisp, and he has. And the way he's also demonstrating his ability to sell when Rusev is hitting him, like Javon Evans has gotten much better. And I'm very happy for him that he got the win against Rusev, even though I like Rusev a little bit better. They're pushing Javon Evans to the moon. What happened to Braun Breaker, though? Why is Dominic Mysterio getting buried, right? Whoever the writers are looking at Triple H in the face, and in Triple H, whoever the writers are who are helping Triple H book this show, who are looking each other in the face and saying, this is the product we're going to put out into the world, they're all to blame. They're all to fucking blame. And honestly, maybe at this point, the best thing for this company is to fire every single one of them and start over. Fuck TKO. That's the problem. Because they know if Netflix drops them, someone else is going to give them a multi-million-dollar deal. Maybe even $1 billion deal. They got on ESPN for what knows reason. They got on Netflix for what knows reason. I mean, bring back the WWE network so we can just watch the old shit. But what's going to be kind of the tipping point? Because SummerSlam is not sold out. SummerSlam is not sold out by any means. It's like, one of the worst segments we've ever fucking seen in the history of Monday Night Raw was this concert. And WWE just couldn't fucking help themselves. They could not help themselves. They had one job to do. Don't overexpose Danhausen. And that's exactly what they did. If they had used him sparingly and found creative ways to feature him here and there, I genuinely think that he'd still be one of the hottest acts to ever perform in a WWE ring. But he is being just pushed down our throats every single weekday. Yes, he's incredibly entertaining. Can he wrestle? No. Is he the full package? No. Is he entertaining and good for the kids and a fun kind of break from the action? Absolutely. But it's clear that WWE has already overexposed him. They've squeezed the juice out of him as much as they possibly can, and fans are already starting to lose interest. And then you add on top of that the concert segment with Joe Hendry from this episode of Monday Night Raw, which easily ranks as one of the worst segments I've ever seen on Monday Night Raw. Jonathan Coachman, the coach, clearly stated it. He said it's the worst segment he's ever seen, and the coach was part of some really, really silly stuff. It's not that it's silly or entertaining or, comedic. People like that, but this just bad. This was just bad. And I blame the writers, I blame the talent, I blame everyone involved for making these types of decisions, because talent can say no. Talent can have their feedback. Talent can say something about it, but they just go along with it because they want the paycheck, and I understand you got families to feed. I understand. But at some point, you have to take creative control, and the writers should be ashamed of themselves for this type of behavior. One of the worst segments we've ever seen in a very, very dark year for WWE. Yeah. And so overall, not a very good episode of Monday Night Raw. WWE is still trying to sell, I think, at least 30,000 tickets for SummerSlam, and this is the kind of television they put out less than a week before their huge two-night event, the second biggest show of the year. For a company, again, with one of the most talented rosters we've seen in years, there seems to be no excuse for a lack of excitement and buzz surrounding this show. But they're incapable. They're incapable of creating compelling, must-watch TV. And so maybe it is a talent problem. Maybe they just have too many good athletes and not enough characters and not enough fucking sports entertainers. But it's definitely a creative problem and an inability to create stars, must-watch TV, and compelling action. This is the result of all of that. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Then like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Lots of love. Cheers.